morning gardeners, and welcome back to Joe and Di's Allotment and Kitchen Garden channel. It's now October, so I won't be doing a weekly vlog anymore because I don't think there's enough content to do a weekly vlog. So this is going to be like a jobs for October and a sort of tour as well at the same time. So we show you what's still available on the plots and what we're doing jobs wise, and there's still a few things to plant and sow. We cleared the greenhouse down the allotment of all the tomatoes and peppers last week, so it's clear and ready for replanting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some garlic in there. So I've got some garlic to plant in there. That'll be for green garlic, so come the sort of spring time we'll have some green garlic available. It's got a few things to put in there as well. Got some winter density lettuces which I can put in there. They're coming on quite well, can plant them in there. And some bits of endive and cow. Whether they'll survive or not, I'm not sure, but they might give us a little crop come the spring. So we'll fill up the greenhouse down the allotment later, and if there's any space I'll put some onion sets in there as well. I planted these earlier to get them started. Even the ones that haven't shot, the roots are probably starting to develop underneath. So we'll plant those out as well, either on the plot or in the cold greenhouse. So the cold greenhouse, even though it's cold, can still give things a little bit longer and give an earlier start in the spring. So it's still useful. We planted this one up a few weeks ago. As you can see, the parsley's coming on quite well. We get some nice little groups of parsley. We've got lettuces in here, which are coming on quite well. We've got some beetroots and spinaches. Still got the peppers in here, the hot peppers. At some stage, what I'll do is I'll dig these out and hang them upside down in the kitchen somewhere, and we'll carry on using them. They can still carry on going red for quite a while, so we can use those. We've got quite a few of these down the allotment as well. We've already made a jar of chili powder, which is very, very hot. I mean, these are really hot peppers. We were dehydrating it, and just the dehydrating process and putting it into a jar was making us both cough. So it's very hot chili. So I think we'll only use a tiny little bit each time, because we don't eat hot chilies ourselves. I mean, I know some of our friends love hot chilies, so we can give some to them, but we don't like really, really hot chilies. The ones I've potted up are still doing okay. They're still producing peppers. So at the moment I'll leave these out here. If it gets much colder, I'll take them into the conservatory. But yeah, they're still producing quite nice peppers. They're growing on quite well. So we've got some salad onions over here as well, and some more lettuces. And we sowed rocket in this section here, and it's all coming up quite nicely. I might earth that up a little bit later actually and give it another watering. So they're doing quite well. And I pulled out the last of the basil from the garden this morning, and I put that into a pot. We will now take that indoors, and that'll carry on giving us some, fresh basil leaves for quite a while now. So hopefully that'll carry on growing on the windowsill in the kitchen. So we've still got a nice load of parsley there at the back there, which we're sort of munching through gradually. And what I've done, I've set up this wire cage here. What we do is, as the leaves fall off the trees, especially the big old sycamore tree up there, we'll put them in there. It's amazing, we can sort of get up to that height in leaves, and by the time the winter's over, it drops right down, and we bag it up and we'll use it for mulching, or it's a good compost activator as well. I mean, once it's rotted down for sort of 9 months to 12 months, it rots right down, and if you add it to your compost, it's a great activator. So yeah, useful way of using lots of leaves basically. Still got a bit of perpetual spinach on this section as well, so yeah, it's easy to come out and pick it straight away and use it when you're cooking something. That's quite handy. You can see the leaves are starting to sort of fall off soon. And you can see the leaves are starting to sort of getting ready to fall off on the grapevines as well, and they mulch down really quickly, so they're really good to put in compost as well, because they rot down really quickly. So we've picked all the tomatoes now down the allotment. We were starting to get a little bit of early blight, so we removed them all now. And as you can see, we've got quite a few here. They are gradually turning red. So every few days I take the red ones out. But yeah, there's still quite a few here for us to use. We've already dehydrated a big jar into powder. We've got quite a few jars of sliced tomatoes as well. So once we've used up all the fresh ones, we've got a lot in the freezer as well. Actually, we've got some cooked up in the freezer into sort of bolognese mixture. So once these ones have all gone and the freezer ones have all gone, we can start using the dried ones. So it will last us quite a way into, hopefully into next year, before we start using passata or tin tomatoes again. The potatoes, we've actually dug up all the main crop potatoes now. This is one lot. We've been leaving them in to dry the skin, so we can now bag these up properly and put away for storage. But I don't think we've got more than about sort of 15 to 20 kilograms at all for this year's storage. It's been very disappointing, really, the main crop. Lack of rain and the very, very dry conditions, which meant the crop wasn't very good, really. Yeah. So yeah, we've also harvested all the pumpkins, courgettes and marrows. We did quite well on the butternut squash as well. That's not been too bad. I'll show you in a moment what we got in our storage now. It's quite a bit actually. So we'll show you that in a moment. Yeah, so this is our storage of squashes really. We ended up with about 30 kilograms of butternut squash. We've got quite a few pumpkins as well. These are the Kokoro pumpkins. We haven't actually opened them up yet. They're quite light actually. It's amazing that they're quite light, but they're supposed to be the edible pumpkin seeds in there. So when we get round to cutting one open, we'll show you that. And we've still got quite a few large marrows as well. So yeah, I mean, this will keep us going. This is enough here to keep us going for quite a few, all the way through to probably spring, before we eat through this lot here actually. Yeah, quite a lot. So just a tour of plot 52. We've now established 4 new strawberry rows I should say, not beds. So we've moved some of the newer strawberries down to this end, the ones we'd potted up as well. So we've now completed 4 rows. They look like they're getting away okay. Some have got new leaves on them, so it looks like they're growing away quite nicely. So they should hopefully give us some nice strawberries in the spring. Jerusalem artichokes have just started to die off, but not completely. They've not actually flowered this year, which is the first time I've not known them flower, so it's probably because of the conditions we had during the summer. But once they die off, we'll cut away the foliage, compost that up, and dig out the artichokes. We use some, but we also dry some as well, because it's a nice thickening agent. So we like to dehydrate some and use it in various meals as a thickening agent. That's good for that. We've still got quite a lot of comfrey here, but what I'll do is I'll put that into a bean trench later on in probably November. Chop it down and put it into a bean trench. There's quite a lot there. That's come back nicely actually. This is where the potatoes were, so we've actually dug all them out now. We've got some here still to take home. So these are the main crop potatoes. We sort of divide them up into sort of different sizes really. They're the largest. Smallest we tend to use first in sort of stews and casseroles. And they're the medium ones, but we'll dry the skins off and we put them into storage now. So we've taken out all the bean poles now. And this is the area where the squashes were, so we've completely cleared that and cleared as many of the weeds as we can. The leeks are looking okay now. I thought they weren't going to produce anything this year, but they're now starting to develop nicely, so we should get quite a few leeks for the winter. And we've still got cow under the netting over there. That's what's left of the strawberries, but rather than dig them all out completely, we thought we'd leave some of them and see if we can get a little crop off them anyway before we sort of completely remove them. So we've been tidying them up, taking out the really old ones and taking the leaves off the some of them as well to clear them up a bit. There's a flower here, so they're still flowering, some of them. It's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it for this plot really. Just needs a bit more tidying up, a bit more weeding, a bit more clearing, but we've got winter to do that. Spread the compost out on it and let it die into the ground, and then whatever's left we put back in the compost heap again later. So yeah, it's looking quite nice and tidy, this plot now. Yeah, so we cleared out the greenhouse of all the tomatoes and most of the peppers. We just had a few of the chili peppers in there still. They're still looking okay. But yeah, we also cropped some main crop potatoes from this plot as well. They're quite small, they didn't grow very big. And some more butternut squashes, which is a good lesson because they was in my cucumber patch. So I must have mislabelled or not labelled them and ended up with some butternut squashes, but that's okay, you can use those. So yeah, what I'm going to do is plant up some stuff in the greenhouse, the cold greenhouse now, to get some crops over there, autumn, winter and hopefully into the spring as well. So we're sowing some garlic in here to use as green garlic, which is sort of immature garlic. You don't let the bulbs form and split, you just use them for the green tops basically. They can get quite high and they're a nice fresh addition to meals in the spring, and I suppose they're a bit milder than garlic, so it's a nice flavour. This is the last row here. Now these should grow away quite well through the winter. The soil's very dry, so we give this a good watering afterwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 rows there, so we should get quite a few plants there. That's those done. So these are winter density lettuces. They're very hardy, and being in a cold greenhouse should keep them going for quite a while. We like to have our own salad stuff all year round, so this helps us do that. This with the rocket and the parsley means we've got some sort of green salad stuff all year round. I suppose you can add baby spinach to that, and chard, and cow as well, baby cow, and endive, which I'm going to plant as well. We've got some endive and cow here that we're going to plant today. So I've filled up this side now. We've got garlic, lettuces and some cow and endive on that side. So that's filled up, needs a good watering in a minute. And we've got some endive on this side as well. I'm just about to put some of the onion sets in. We'll just have a look at the lovely roots that's come through. I only planted these in a few weeks ago into the pot, just to let them give them a bit of an early start. And they've got a lovely root system, so they should get away quite well. I'm going to fill up the rest of the greenhouse with some of them and then plant the rest outside on the bed. So we'll probably get 2 crops, because the ones in here probably grow earlier than the ones outside. But yeah, might as well fill it up, utilise the space. Wow. So last 2 pre-germinated ones going in. Give them a good firming in. And the soil's quite damp, so I won't need to water them, I don't think, to start with. There's one left in here somewhere. There he is. That's it. That's done. So we're up to this market. That's about half a bed of onion sets, carby red onion sets. So hopefully they'll get away quite nicely and give us a crop in sort of May or June, hopefully. I'll just give you a quick plot tour of plot 59. The glow artichokes are all coming back up again now. We've actually got some rhubarb over there. We haven't tried to eat it, but I think it looks okay to me, so we might actually try some. It's sort of regenerated since we've had all the rains. It does look, it looks okay as well. We might get some fresh rhubarb in October. Wow. So this bed's got quite a combination of stuff. We've got some flat leaf parsley, some coriander, some beetroots here, bits of spinach. We've got some winter radish there, which are going to flower. And we've got a couple of rows of carrots, which are nice. They're sticking out the ground now. So yeah, I mean the carrots, we might have to cover them over at some stage. If it starts getting sort of a frosty period, we might have to just put a bit of fleece over them to keep them a bit warmer. So this bed's got a combination of stuff as well. We've got carrots at this end, which I think are ready to crop some of these carrots now. We've got some kale growing here. More parsley. I think I'll take some, take a wee bit. We'll take one of these home today. Nice little lettuces. This bed, the beans have come to an end really. There's a few beans left on them, so I might let them dry off in the pods now. The perpetual spinach is sort of virtually finished on this bed, so we'll probably dig them out, take the good leaves off and put those in the compost. That end's just weed and needs clearing. Same with that bed over there, it's got a few beans left on it, which needs clearing out now after they've dried up. Well, they actually started to dry. It's starting to dry up, so we'll pod them at some stage. And we've got some winter cabbages and broccoli in this bed. Looks like so it's been eating them. Quite a few damage on the leaves, but they'll be okay. So this bed we've got quite a lot of winter spinach here, and some rocket. Got a whole row of rocket here, and some more perpetual spinach and chard there. And still we're munching our way through the beetroot. There's quite a bit here still. We're sort of using it up as we go along. That bed there we've got more beans. And a row of parsnips there as well. And our celery, which needs a good watering again, I think. Very, very water hungry crop. This bed we've got cow, which we've got sort of munching our way through. And we've got some winter or spring cabbages at that end. So yeah, they're under cover. Stop the pigeons eating them. So we've had a few figs off the fig tree this year, but they always develop a second crop, which never amounts to anything because it's too cold now, so it's best to pick them up at some stage. I'll also give the tree a trim as well. It's getting a bit unruly now. We've still got some apples left on the tree. I think we better sort of pull them off in the next week or so. They've got quite plump and sweet now, those ones. So I've got another little row of rocket here in this bed, a little row of carrot and some more beetroot. This was a later sowing, so hopefully they'll carry on growing for a bit longer yet before we crop them. This was where the cucumber and the butternut squashes were, and that bed over there was where the potatoes were, which we showed you in the bucket earlier. Got a few parsnips in that little bed over there, which we grew in toilet rolls. So we've got sort of one lot over there and one lot over there. So we've got 2 lots of parsnips, which should be enough for us. So that's the bed where we've just put the winter onion sets in, and this is the bed where the tomatoes were and the peppers. We've still got the hot chili peppers left in there, so I'll probably pull them up in the next week or two and hang them upside down somewhere in the kitchen to sort of carry on readying off. This is a late sowing as well here. We've got sort of spinaches, perpetual spinach, 2 types of normal spinach, some parsley, some beetroot and some red cow as well. So these are looking okay. We've still got some parsley left at the end there, flat leaf and curly leaf parsley. So we've still got quite a few red cabbages available. This one's had a good munching by something. But pull off those top leaves and it'll be okay underneath. And we've got our Brussels underneath here, which is just starting to form. They're looking okay. So yeah, that's a quick plot tour, finishing in the greenhouse where we sowed some stuff today. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed the video. That's it for sort of October really. So cover up your carrots. You can still do a bit of sowing. It's mainly a tidy up time really. Tidying up your plot, manuring it, composting it, getting it ready for next spring. If you've got any late crops to put in, you can put them in now. Other than that, it's just a matter of tidying up, weeding really. It's a good time to get all the weeding done, because if you leave it all winter and come back in the spring and you'll be inundated, you won't get anything done because you'll be weeding for the first 2 months of this spring. So yeah, it's a good time to get your weeding done, autumn and winter. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you found it informative. Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and if you'd like to subscribe to our channel and follow our journey into sort of November, We'll do some more recipes as well in the coming weeks, because we'll show you how we use our sort of surplus of crops up. But yeah, if you'd like to subscribe, the button's at the bottom of the page. Please subscribe and follow our journey. Thank you very much for watching.